Congrats. Breaking setups in the server. Oh, we are straight into this pistol round. Okay, double cave setup here for Nouns. They like their dualies, so they've brought 3 of them. Not quite the quaddies. Got some utility alongside it, but the triplies. And Yekindar has eliminated 1 set of those. Oh, and the second as well. Okay. Well, that was just a one-man wrecking crew. No problems here. And now they've lost their A player as well, so it's big trouble all over the map, and nothing's getting done here. It all falls to CJ. He is not long for this world. That is quick and clean for Liquid.
Oh my goodness, I was about to say, player to watch on T side is Yekindar, and he gets 2 right away. The opening frags as well, and that's the point I wanted to bring up. He's their #1 entry fragger on the T side. He's got 29.6% of the attempts in this year in 2024 and has a 1.2 rating. And well, you're seeing right there why he's always been that type of player, of course, but he's a key piece for that reason. You were talking about the players kind of jumping into their roles, finding their place a little bit more as time has gone on since this team was formed. And I mean, that's one player who certainly looks a lot more comfortable.
Farming some up. This is his life, but they're going to be A-okay, especially since it's just a MAC-10 that's a threat. And that is clean. So 1 casualty so far through 2 rounds. I like your point about Yekindar starting to feel more comfortable, right? There's one of the... It's interesting that this is a trend, but it definitely is a trend. One of the hardest things to do, it seems, for a player is to actually move off of IGLing. Because players get infected with what we call IGL brain, which is where they're worried about the minimap and the macro too much, and maybe not focused on just what they need to do, which is understandable when you're in IGL, but then moving off of it, sometimes it can be hard to untrain your brain to be thinking about your teammates more than yourself. And it has been interesting to see that transition back, because we know what mechanics, what kind of talent, what kind of skill he can bring to the table. It's a question of when he was worried about what was going on with the teammate, sometimes we didn't see the purest demonstration of that fact. Now a hit on towards A. CJ, grateful that that molly doesn't spread. Oh, he might actually catch them off guard here. I don't know if they realize that he's potentially safe there. A lot of timing here. CJ's trying to play as patient as possible to kill on KD and makes this easier. Now the loss of Junior, they have no idea. They have no idea that CJ's here. Oh. This is the fine line between success and baiting, and unfortunately he can't get more than 1.
Carson tried to go out and get a trade, but nothing doing. Naf with the insta headshot. 3K for him. Nicely done from the star player here for Liquid. #1 fragger since this team was formed with a plus, oh, that's crazy, 151 kill to death differential, but that's over 35 maps, but still quite impressive. Jeorge going to try and save the AK in this situation. Nothing he can really do to fight back into this bomb site. 15 HP, lurking around nearby as Yekindar, and he may be able to spot him out.
He'd like an upgrade here too. This man's been playing gun game, and he'll be able to do so. He got the MAC-10 to start the round, upgrades to the FAMAS, and then winds up with an AK. Everything's just coming up roses. Well now.
Indeed.
Kind of wondering how this one was going to start, John, and it's starting well for Liquid.
Very well. I mean, look, that first gun round did not go well at all for Nouns. They are back onto the eco, but they can afford a half-buy. Should be some pistol upgrades here and a bit of body armor. Yeah, you see the only one that's buying the body armor is Marky. He's got the P250 along with it, and Cadian's jumping out here. He already tagged CJ down to 21, and it appears they want to go down in towards that B site. Marky waiting in Jaguar. He's got the P250 in hand, hoping to pop a head or two. Yekindar finds 1, trade goes through. It's a chance here for Nouns with 3 players up, but Skull's making a little bit better. Junior with the USP gets 1 before the insta trade comes through. Things under control for now, and Nouns don't have much HP left. That means that this one is likely done.
It's at least a little more costly on the Liquid side, but none of these guns are really going to be retrievable. Like CJ, I guess, could try and go around the world and find one, but it's not likely to happen. Might just try for an exit here. There's not much benefit to saving the Deeg, but conversely, there's not much benefit to dying unnecessarily. So Either way, his ability to impact this round is over. Ideal scenario is one exit and a gun somehow snatched away, but even that's going to be a tough task, especially when you consider this bomb radius and the sharpness of Twistzz crosshair placement.
Oof. All right. Well, I mean, that's just a throwaway round for Nouns anyway. They're not going to be too fussed about it. Upgraded some pistols and, you know, not much invested into the round. Here comes the real investment. This is where Nouns need to start getting things going. The AWP is in Junior's hands finally. I already talked about how impressive he's been in CS2. With that, 3 A1Ss and the A4 for Jeorge. Interestingly, saw the stats on this, and the A4 is going completely out of style. The A1S has taken over, I think, 80% usage now among pro players. Carson going to get headshotted by Twistzz immediately. He was just caught out, flashed by Yakindar, and now a 5v4 materializes for Liquid, and all that control gained in towards Sniper Nest.
Yeah, Cadian. He's had this a couple times now, so they're probably a little bit on alert. You can see Jeorge going back to deal with him, but yeah, it's... Oh, it's Twistzz, actually. All the way through. Good old mini-map goofy. Twistzz. Oh, we'll capitalize. Jeorge not clearing it out. Now they've got a pinch potentially on these two donut players. Junior trays it at least, but does he realize that Twistzz is still close at hand? Oh no, CJ. Complete lack of awareness on that one. And now best case scenario is that Junior makes it out of this round with the AWP, and they're not really interested in allowing him to do so. Wow. That's merciless. These gun rounds, just no impact, no ability to influence the map here for Nouns, and it's still early days.
It is, yes.
But if you're a Nouns fan, this is concerning.
A little, tiny bit, just a touch, just a touch.
Just a smidge.
Look, this is the type of match where Cadian loves to play in, right? Because the rest of his team is fragging out. He doesn't have to worry about the fragging duties, and he can just focus on calling. And I mean, no one's really putting that pressure that they need to, in fact, on Nouns. No one's found their stride yet. They haven't had that many gun rounds to speak of. So again, early days, but so far, Liquid's trending in a very positive direction. Yakindar spotted out CJ, so he's just trying to play the lip here. Marky comes out with the 5-7, domes him immediately. 4v4, that's an upgrade maybe for Nouns to get.
The problem is
he's gone.
that he knows it's a poison chalice potentially if someone could be left to hold it. So trying to come back to help the site instead, but this bomb's going to be down and get a little interesting here. Oh, all right. Carson has made this very interesting indeed. Man advantage, bomb still not planted. Liquid might have missed their window. Skull's going to touch that down to dirt, but now they're making their move up. They know they've got some space. They know they got some opportunities. Did he spot the player getting out of cave? Doesn't matter. And there we go. Nouns on the board.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of explosive play here. And Liquid, maybe a touch of panic as well. If they had hit the pause button on that cave fight, I think the problem was, right, because Yakindar was focused towards window, he saw two players down there. He's kind of stuck. He needed a teammate to potentially come up and cover off cave, and whether that was a miscomm or whether that was a misread, it just didn't happen for Liquid.
Wow, that is surprising. I mean, just a lot of chaotic play coming through in that round as Nouns tried to get back into the B site, which was quite cleanly taken by Liquid. They didn't have eyes on long B, and that's where they got kind of pincered on towards the site. And of course, those last two players just taking care of business against Liquid. I'm really surprised that that is the one that slips through their fingertips. Look, they still have plenty of money. They got a buy in the bank here, but they let Nouns open that door just a crack, and that's going to spell potential problems if Nouns gets on a little bit of a run here. That's the shot in the arm they needed. There's no question. As Skulls is going to throw some util towards the A site. He's already got some smokes out. Support his team through both of those quite well, in fact, perfectly for CT and Donut, and that opens up all the space that Liquid could possibly need. They will have the A site under their control. Very passive A hold from Nouns here.
Kill from Carson, but traded on the smoke fade. Didn't anticipate the bold play, and you gotta be ready for this against this Liquid roster, and now time's such a big issue. Starting to take away. They don't have any footholds on. Liquid wants to fight towards CT, which is a blunder. Marky ready for it. Marky snappy on the shooting still. They got a Molotov. There is smoke on Marky. Oh, did the smoke cover off the bomb? Yes, it did. All good. Jeorge will be defusing. Liquid just need the spam, and they've not got it. Cadian has to back away. It's a second round on the board for Nouns, and a much-needed recovery. Now off to the races.
I mean, look, that was a questionable fight that they took towards CT. I get that you want to try and clear out the player and gain a little bit of space, but you don't really have to. You can just wait on the site. You can wait for that contact to come your way. Maybe have one player kind of peek around, draw out the fire, get the information, then go right on back. Just a jiggle peek is enough there. Instead, they fully commit to the fight. 2 players drop. One part of the map completely lost. And now Nouns knows it, so they can put pressure onto the bomb site and then go for that defusal. That's another tough round for Liquid, I would say. Again, doing well in the early going, but the mid-rounding things started to slip away. And you see players starting to wake up on the Nouns side. Carson with a couple there. Markey as well. Let's see if Junior connects. No. Liquid jumping right onto the B site, rushing on through it. They've already taken it again, so they haven't struggled to get map control. It's just about living the fight in the latter part of the last 3 rounds. Junior gets one, Jeorge gets a second. It's a 3v5. Twistzz needs to get a double, and he does to even out the numbers.
That's a huge opportunity now, because the bomb plant should be possible. Cadian's got to cross to do it, and they are taking a lot of damage. Oh, Cadian actually fighting forward. Maybe we'll advise with the Molotov down, but it's going to be tough to find the space once the smokes are gone. Liquid, this might just have to be a battle mission. Might just have to win by elimination here. They're going to take the bomb, but this is just to try and bait out a response. Now the bomb's being planted open. Wary of more utility, wary of spams. They can't make a traditional play. Cadian on the line. Battle opping, combat opping on this long angle. He's not going to win the fight, and it falls to Skulls. He's the healthiest player. He's the strong man up, and now he's got the chance of the clutch. Problem is, Junior's going to go on the line. It doesn't matter. Skulls deletes, erases him. Crosshair placement is good, but CJ through the wall will find him in the nick of time. Skulls wanted the shoulder bait, try and slow things down, but it's not going to happen.
Oh man, I thought Skulls had that because Nouns found themselves in a situation where they have no util, didn't necessarily have the information to where Skulls could be, which I would say even in a 1v2 still gives Skulls a little bit more of a chance of pulling off that round. Then when he gets the first thing, okay, here's the opportunity, but a shot through the wall by Carson, connects through it. Actually, I don't think it was Carson, but it was someone else either way, but nice shot at the end to close things out, and CJ was looking at it. Nouns got a 3rd in a row. I mean, we were counting them out, Mike. It was 5-0. We know, and we said it was early though, still, so we never knew what was going to happen. But that is 3 in a row. Where I mean, the first one really should have been Liquid to take it. After that, Nouns are getting on some really strong retakes.
Yeah, I mean, what they've done is they've capitalized on the opportunity in a big way, right? This is the danger of the Nouns roster. They've certainly got that explosive play with pistols, with whatever you're going to put in their hands. They make it happen with 5.7s, and now they capitalize. Take advantage of the opportunity. Don't let it just slip away. Don't let Liquid sort of wipe the whiteboard clean. Oh, 2 present players up by window. This is weird. Now's fight through. It's going to be a timing game, and Carson catches it. Well done. Naf wanted to clear the window player. Didn't expect the second player to be there. But a bomb plant. Guaranteed on A. And numbers up into defense. Question is, what can Yeki do on this lurk? Nothing. They're ready for it. They're still wary that a B player could be there, but do they expect Cadian to come into the same angle again? But look at the late rotation from Jeorge. How do you read this if you're Cadian?
You don't.
Jeorge is going to be so late in here, and it's actually going to save their bacon. Cadian heard it, I think. But that still allows his teammates to go for the retake, unless Twistzz dismisses them. Oh, Skulls with the jiggle. All has to be Twistzz. It's about time now. It's about time. They've got kits, but if Twistzz just pulls the first diffuser off, it's over. He's going to do exactly that. Jeorge trying to body block, but that's the round. Twistzz has done it. Liquid finds 6.
No one survives either as the bomb takes Jeorge down. That was very, very close. Twistzz, again, this time the 2K is enough to get his team back into it. And the final frag, he just has to look around Jeorge to take down the diffuser, and he managed to do so. Well done from Twistzz. Every little bit of effort required there from Liquid to pull themselves back in the W column here. 6-3 as they double up on Nouns' scoreline, and Nouns are going to call a timeout to talk things over because the last 4 rounds I should say, have actually been pretty tightly contested, so the money's not exactly in the greatest of positions. I think they're talking over if they want to force up here. So far they have. Doesn't mean they can't sell their weapons after talking things over a little bit more. It's only CJ and Carson going in. But yes, they are going to go into this round. I guess it makes sense because Junior had the 6K available. So he's going to have the AWP. And we talked already earlier about how effective Junior can be in finding those opening frags on CT side. So maybe they'll put him in a position perhaps towards mid to try and get that opening op frag and gain the mid control. And we'll see what happens from there. Assuming they actually go for that. Lots of options with the op here on Ancient.
Many indeed.
He usually plays towards B.
Indeed. Where do they deploy it? All right. He's going to solo A. Aggressively at that. Naf hits his teammate's flashbang. Interesting. That'll slow them down just a tick. Cadian's under threat from the molly. But Twistzz actually gets a kill. Where was that kill?
It was right outside Jaguar.
Oh, okay. God, I didn't even realize he had the angle, to be quite frank. They're going to try and pinch A. Junior has the angle, has the spot. Skulls now knows. Uh-oh, missed my window to trade, and Junior is hunting.
Oh!
Nicely done. Had to press forward. And for Yekindar, well, this is still in the realm of possibility, but it might also just be about inflicting pain. Inflicting damage. He can do that. Jeorge doesn't expect CJ, though. So the round will go the way of Nouns. This recovery does get to continue, but 3 bodies lost means there will be limitations. No bomb plant down means Liquid have a choice. Do they want to chase this in the force buy, or do they want to try and save for the best shot at 7 rounds?
Well, they're going to get a timeout from Nouns, in fact, to talk it over themselves, and Nouns maybe just want to make some adjustments here. I did like the aggression coming through from Nouns there in towards lane. They had a couple of players there, and that's where I think it was Twistzz that got caught out and got dropped there. And of course, Nouns were able to get the control they were looking for towards B and kind of funneled Liquid into either an A hit or trying to go for some mid control, and they caught Liquid around mid. So, yeah, it looks like my guess would be, and I think it's trending in this direction, is that Liquid's just going to go for pistol upgrades, maybe, and then buy up in the next round. They're confident in their pistols, and they have pulled off rounds like this many a time before. So we'll see if they can do it against Nouns, who really looked completely lost in the opening 5 rounds. But since that point, they've been on a 4-1 run. Was very critical in that previous one, gaining the control of a main. Couple of nice op frags. The second one on a peak where he knew the position of the player. And now Liquid, well, they're going to go back into A. Perhaps expecting Junior to be here. He is. And with those pistols, maybe they'll have a chance against it. Oh, perfect opener, though. And the nade to follow up should do a lot of damage. There it is. Naf down to 61. Jeorge pitches in on Twistzz, and he's lurking around. And then he comes in to support his teammate. But a bomb plant's actually going to come through. And that's kind of mission accomplished for Liquid going to the final round.
Yeah, it is. Let's see if they can take it a step further. See if they can get the bonus mission. The supreme objective. Jeorge, not interested in it. Nope, not happening. Nifty bit of rifle work. Had to be done. Oh, falls to Nafu with the P250. Just has no chance at this one. A lethal round for Jeorge. 4 kills in total. Now it is just 1 round that separates these teams. This is one hell of a recovery for Nouns.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. If they can tie this one up going into the second half, then I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how Liquid responds to this resurgence. And we already mentioned, I mean, if there's one thing that Nouns has, it's a ton of firepower, and if they can start to roll along, then things will get a little more difficult for Liquid. And Cadian in particular, who we talked about, can struggle in these situations, and in terms of frags, he's struggling in only 2 so far, but the rest of his team is on slacks. Not a big concern as of yet, but it could be of this map. CJ gets the opener and the second. Oh my goodness, Carson swinging around mid as well. There is a response from Naf onto Jeorge. That's at the B site. Naf's thinking about charging all the way through. He tosses the flashbang over. Junior's trying to respond in kind, and Liquid doesn't really gain the space thanks to a Molotov throwing as well. Carson's got another one. And, well, Naf and Skulls kind of left to their own devices here, and Naf's getting away his position thanks to that Molotov. Markey cleans him out.
Skulls 1v4. Flashed up and never given the chance to start out. Nicely done. We'll take our halftime break. And back in we go. Even at the half, not what we would have expected after that start, but Nouns have given themselves a great chance here on Ancient. They've just got to get it done on the T side if they want to snatch their opponent's map pick away. Liquid wondering where those rounds of dominance went. Well, now they get the luxury of the defense.
Yeah, 6 of the last 7 rounds going Nouns' way. It was an explosive start out of the gate for Liquid, which we've seen so many times before. I mean, well, another thing we've seen a lot of times before is them struggling afterwards. Skull's going to get the opener here on to Marky. Quick 5v4 in favor of Liquid. Skull's backing off now. I think they have an idea, an inkling that Nouns are all over this A site. Yekindar going to get the headshot onto Carson, and that is all Liquid so far. Yekindar peeking around, got his second, looking for the third. Not going to get that, and in fact, CJ and Junior do manage to get a couple back. The thing, oh, Junior with another one. That is very much an overcommitment, and now Junior a chance to clutch this 1v2.
Yeah, they wanted to put that away. They wanted to put that round away, but they've got control of the bomb. They don't need to do it. The thing is, right now, Naf doesn't have to move off of Big Box. There's no utility that can take him out. So let Twistzz play contact and Naf play off of his teammate. A little fast and loose with the discipline here. This should be a losable if they play together, and indeed, Naf and Twistzz will do so. But with Junior, we know he can be snappy with those pistols, man. There was a moment. Played it a little frisky, but it's all good for now.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that was super scary for Liquid. Like you said, overcommitting, trying to end that round quickly, hoping for that decisive one there in the opening pistol round, but it doesn't happen. They get the round victory, but it was close. And like you said, playing with fire, Naf had no reason to really peek there. Could have just played off contact with Twistzz, but they peek together and eventually get the job done. Cadian charging into A main, as you saw, getting the opening frag onto Jeorge. 5v4 in favor of Liquid as Yekindar peering around this smoke, trying to position himself in an ideal spot to make sure that Nouns can't get out of here. Naf is also supporting. This is going to be tough for Nouns to get anything out of. Obviously, it's just the Glocks. Naf spots Junior trying to retreat. Marky hiding behind the box, but I think Naf has an idea that someone's here.
He's got to be checking it. Against Marky, you got to be checking it. And yeah, he will, in fact, get the execution. Marky's still coming out with a lot of damage in that one. Glock didn't connected, but it's all good. And so Liquid get another hot start to a half, barring sheer madness here. And I mean, after the way that first half went, they're going to be thanking their lucky stars, right? These pistols are proving important. Starting off on the right foot, always a big help.
Oh yeah, no question. But here come the AKs for Nouns. This is the true test for Liquid. As 4 AKs and Marky with the Galil. Marky always the snake in the grass, the player that hides in the most annoying spots you can possibly imagine. You have to clear everything when he's on the server, and that's why, as you mentioned, Naf was very aware of the possibility with Marky on the other side that he needed to clear out that box. Twistzz throwing the Molotov immediately here. That is to prevent a quick push into mid. Nouns, on the other hand, are looking to get into cave. CJ... Actually, excuse me, into A main.
Ooh.
Skull's in a pretty good spot.
He hears the noise. He's going to step forward to avoid getting caught by the Molotov, and Jeorge is ready for it. Like, we're prepared. So Skulls' position goes for naught. With the SMGs, they want to condense these angles, right? And that's what Nouns are counting on right now. They're counting on the urgency in condensing these fights. Carson gonna back away, not caught by the spam. Naf a little too late to punish that. But they're whittling time off here. Ooh, timing of that Molotov could be huge. They're forced back. So Nouns, despite the advantage, have very little map control to show for it. And you do not want to get into a situation where you're trying to execute a site with sub 30 seconds up against these SMGs, because at that point, well, you're fighting the MP9s on the MP9's turn.
Naf had such a good position, but he's trying to bait them up so Yekindar can take control here. Naf, that Molotov's going to force him even further in. Twistzz supporting, gets one, but only one. Jeorge comes back with the 2K. Yekindar does nothing. CJ deletes him. Cadian, the last man standing, all the way on the opposite site. And well, this was a bonus round for Liquid. I mean, bonus round, he could still try to get some frags, right?
The problem is, he's really giving it a look. The problem is his utility is so valuable. Now his smoke's been spent, but
he's using it though, so
It's less valuable now, but still the set of armor, the MP9, and the molly is worth hanging on to. What he tried to do was throw the nades just to stall out a hunt. But CJ does have this deep angle, so if he goes a little too far afield, CJ might have him.
Most definitely.
Kadian wants an exit. He wants an upgrade. Molotov into the water. Always funny how that does work out. And CJ holding the angle, holding his nerve, never flinching. We'll make sure there are no survivors.
Yeah, that's just too strong of an angle for CJ to have for Kadian to do anything about. They will have a buy up again into this round, but I think that was just a really strong play from Liquid. If you're looking at the mini-map, you just saw that cluster of X's right outside the B double doors, and it was just a great job from Nouns, Jeorge in particular, who comes out with the 2K and really shuts them down, and Yekindar couldn't do anything either with CJ finding him. So really nicely done from Nouns. Good patience. They waited for the peek to come through. Great Molotov thrown as well to force Nav out of position. Carson gets a 2K to open things up here. Twistzz and Kadian immediately drop. There's the mid control, and Nav can do nothing in response. 5v2 for Nouns. Yekindar and Skulls are not on the site. Skulls at least over in Donut, but he's going to get mollied off, so he's hoping the long range advantage here with the A1S will help him out, but not so much of an advantage against that AK. Molotov sailed through. My goodness, I think the double mollies to prevent any thought from Skulls of pushing through here. And yeah, that's going to be the round. That's it.
Yeah, it's got to be. Certainly no choice in the matter. Op can be retrieved, but time to get the heck out of here. So that is what they will do. Nouns getting a little eager on the hunt. Marky always a bit of a thorn in the side. In these kind of rounds. Yekindar holding his direction with this AWP, and Marky for the time being at least circumventing it. So they should be okay to save in this spot.
Should.
Don't quite know how the kill would come through at this point. It'd have to be Junior on a swing, and I don't even think he has time. So Nouns are content to leave them with the guns, because the scoreline is tied up.
Ooh, alrighty. Well, a couple of guns saved through. There's the timeout. The first one, in fact, called by Liquid as we are tied up again 8-8. That was the buy round for Liquid that went completely awry thanks to that beautiful peek. I think it was from Carson at the beginning of the round into mid. Just took care of business and shut down both players who were trying to get aggressive themselves, right? You had the player from lane and one charging up mid. Didn't really get the shots off, and of course Carson capitalized on every opportunity he was given. And I think that's kind of the story of this one, is that when Nouns has been given an opportunity against this Liquid squad, they have not squandered it. In fact, they've been, I would argue, perfect in the chances where they were given opportunities. So Liquid in this round, I mean, there's not much of a choice. They're just going to go for the eco around the two guns that were saved over in the previous. We'll see if they split up the rifle and the op in different parts of the map. Looks like Skulls is going to favor Red Room, and the AWP in Kadian's hands is in Donuts. So they are sticking together for now. That means the A site will be a ton stronger than the B site, and that appears to be where Nouns is coming.
Yeah, it's the right read. Reinforcements are stacked up here, but I think you're going to need a big play from Kadian, and it's been a little lacking early on the individual front. This is one of the things we talked about as being key here. Oh, tick him all of Skulls is going to push him back. There's no presence in Donut is the thing. Go, here's the op out. Op connecting on the first. They're a little stuttered up here, but CJ, that's a massive kill. That Chiggle is huge. But they don't know. I don't think they realize that that molly didn't go deep enough. Skulls has two. Oh, no. It was actually too deep. It allowed him room in front of it. Skulls was not locked off by that, and nobody was watching. And now this is a disaster on for Nouns. They did the hard work. They dealt with Kadian. They had control of Donut, but they're so eager to fight it that they just leave Skulls alone.
That is a very big oversight from Nouns, not realizing the molly was a little too deep and Skulls had a ton of space to play with. Not over yet in a 1v3, but with the bomb down on the A site and Carson having to clear out 3 angles with 28 seconds left, odds are, well, decidedly not in his favor. Carson gonna have a crack at it and nothing doing, not even a frag. Skulls immediately drops him. 3 for him. who's leading the scoreboard, close to leading it at 15. Naf, of course, ahead of him at 17. And Skulls was actually one of the key pieces in that Party Astronauts BO3 that got very tightly contested. Ended up with 51 frags, leading the squad there, and an 89.3 ADR. I would say in particular, when they went down 5-13 on map number 1, he woke up on Inferno and Ancient, dropping 19 on Inferno and then 21, tying with Naf on Ancient, which is kind of the same story here, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely led the way. But it is such an asset to a CT side when you have, Naf and Skulls working in that kind of efficiency, because they're your anchors, right? So you can bookend the map with two incredibly reliable pieces in Naf and Skulls. And that allows the other three to have a lot of flexibility in what they do. It's kind of the idea of the construction of this roster is you've got it's almost like if you imagine a chessboard, Skulls and Naf are your rooks. They are locking down the lines.
Yeah.
And then everybody else can be knights, doing L jumps, going diagonal as a bishop, whatever you want to do, because you've got the rooks locking things down.
Yeah, and it's good to see Skulls more comfortable in that role, right? Because when they first started with Liquid, things weren't going his way as an anchor. In fact, I think at one point they tried to move him off positions where he was facing too much pressure to give him a little bit of room to breathe, but now he's thriving, which is good news for them, of course. Twistzz just charging into mid along with Skulls. So Skulls taking that aggression early on this time. Just wants to boost Twistzz up. Come on, guys. Get it done. Let's go. You want to get stuck here. And they do. And they die. Oh, my goodness. That is just a huge blunder. 3K for Nouns. And Naf and Cadian, well, they're gone too. What just happened?
They just straight up lost all the fights. I mean, it's tough to say that any other way. That was...
the boost missed 3 times, Mike.
Yeah. Unfortunate there for Liquid. This Q is going to cost them. They did get a little bit of a gimme in terms of a buy because they won with lesser weaponry and saved guns, but as you can see, it's not exactly going to be grand. Prioritizing the op here again, despite the fact that it hasn't necessarily been a difference maker to them to this point. Oh, that's a nice nade, Jeorge. Lucky to be alive here. But it feels like Marky has been the real pain in the butt for them. Outside a cave. It's a tough position to deal with in the best of times, and a player like Marky tends to maximize his opportunities. Yeah, gets out, is alive, can even stick around, but he's got no more stall out utility, so he's got to be very careful about how he plays this. That shot is lethal. Cadian down for the count. At least the op can be retrieved here by Naf and put right back into use, but that is a straight on op fight won by Junior.
I mean, didn't even feel like Cadian reacted at all. It was just all Junior, who has dominated the op v op duel, and something we talked about as a key to victory for Nouns is having Junior doing that. Yeah.
They're conceding this round. They're stacking A. Having shown presence on B, they're going to stack A, and they're going to full gamble it. If this is a B take, the round's over. Nouns are on double digits.
It's a B take. It's over. Unless they decide to come back. Yeah, Kandar's close
should
by.
Be no reason.
I don't think so either. Given the money that they have in the bank, you're absolutely right. It's going to be Nouns. Yeah, Nouns taking the 10th round and the first lead for themselves here up against Liquid.
Well, now.
Yeah.
Well, now. One critical kill. I mean, with these limited buys, sometimes that's all it takes. One critical kill comes through. Nouns crack the defense. It's a very snappy play. They're timing things well. I mean, they're when it's time to go, they are hitting the gas in exactly the way that you would hope for. The explosive plays are there. Okay, Marky is in fact fine. Bomb on Ancient always makes me a bit nervous. But everyone will survive. So 9 players survive out of that round. And for Liquid, this one takes on a little extra importance. They're going to give the glass cannon op over to Cadian again. Naf's going to play back with the 5-7, so it's virtually the same buy, except you have less utility, and Cadian doesn't have armor.
Alrighty. Timeout going to be called here. The second one for Liquid. Nouns only have 1 timeout left, and I guess they're saving it for the very last possible moment because they realized how tightly contested this one has become. And Liquid, what could they be discussing? I mean, there isn't much that's going to change here in terms of their buy-up. They got the 2 MP9s, the 5-7, the A1S, and the AWP, and I mean, they need some impact from that op. They need some impact from Cadian right now, especially considering he's been losing those duels against Junior. Junior, not usually a player that thrives as much on those T-side openers, or I should say entries, and there he found one in that previous round. It was the only frag needed for Nouns to find success. So they're looking for an 11th here. I think they're going to try and do something similar. In fact, they're just overloading, blitzing into the B site. Do they clear out the spots? No! And Yekindar finds two. Marky manages to get one back, and that will be the B site maybe taken. A couple of players coming from Cave will have something to say about it. The smoke is guising them off for now. They might gamble
Cadian's
the plant
out
here.
Cadian's out. Molotov's going to make life difficult, but they deny the plant. Just spam from Cave is enough. Naf might be lost here, but he gets the dink. And now Carson's low. And gone. All onto Junior. 3 targets to find. Some idea of where to paint them, but it's going to be the flank up from Twistzz. That puts a timer on this, and Twistzz puts this to rest. Hell of a round for Liquid to win. Their backs were up against it a bit, but now they have bought themselves a bit more comfort. It's going to be a rifle round right back to it. So we're going to see fireworks down the stretch here as we come to the close of this map.
Yeah, those flashbangs ended up being a bit of a problem for Nouns because they couldn't spot out Yekindar in time. I mean, they tried to clear in Cubby. The problem was they didn't didn't have enough visibility to realize he was there.
It felt like muscle memory, right? Of like, I'm blinded, but I'm still going to flick over. Well, it's clear and flick back. Wait, who was there?
I didn't see it yet, right? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, Yekindar having some impact here in the latter part of this map, tied up 10-10. The last timeout used for Liquid. The only team with a timeout left is Nouns, and they have one, as I mentioned earlier. Oh, goodness me. Full buy-up coming through for Nouns regardless. They built up enough bank to get to this point. 4 AKs and the AWP versus 2 AKs, 2 A1Ss, and the op on the other side. Oof. A lot closer than we expected after the opening moments of this match, but Nouns, I mean, they had a close one on Nuke against Liquid, losing 13-10, and here, well, it could be a similar scoreline. I'm not sure in which direction. They continue to get really aggressive into these B-side. I'm not sure if they figured something out or they feel like if Cadian's here, maybe we'll have the advantage. Charging in, Junior is again peeking around the corner with the AWP. Cadian not on the site this time. He has switched over towards A, and he's anchoring it down. He's now realizing it could be a B hit. Yekindar immediately deleted this time. CJ looking into Cubby. Naf only gets one. He couldn't really activate. A bit of an awkward spot for him in position as Jeorge finds the immediate trade. 3v3. The retake is on, Mike.
It's all about the skulls fighting to Cave. Oh, and he wins it. He wins it. Flicks around onto Carson. Now the retake's truly on. If he'd lost that, maybe the 2-player CT just back off and save. But as it is now, they got a really good chance of this. Well, HE harassment. These players are up and open. They know that Ramp's a threat, but they have to control something. They just got no options about it, but Jeorge, he's looking the wrong way at the wrong time. It falls to Junior, and he's going to get pinched. There's no chance there. There's no hope. Do they have a kit? Do they have a kit? Oh my God, they do. Cadian's not the right player to be on this. Skulls, did he get on time? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. They've lost the round. Oh no, Liquid. The kit, they couldn't find it. They couldn't figure out where it had fallen. And so Nouns get away with daylight robbery.
Oh, no, not like that. Not like that. I mean, Liquid did everything right up to that point, getting on the retake, finding the frags, and then after that, you lose it because you can't find the kit. I'm not even sure I think they needed it. I'm not sure. There was quite a bit of time left on the clock, and then they'd second-guess themselves. They start looking for that kit, and then they couldn't find it. Just a mess. Just a huge mess at the end of that one. 11-10 in favor of Nouns. Handed a gift as Jeorge now looking for that opening frag into mid. They gain the space at the very least, and Liquid aren't challenging much, but they are kicking themselves for that. The worst part about it, they don't have a timeout to talk things over and calm things down after making a mistake like that.
Ooh, Junior up on the line. All the smoke fit, this could be interesting. Yeah, okay, the ramp fight backs off. That could have gotten real frisky. I said Carson might be the contact man. They're pulling out of the site just as Nouns are moving into Occupy. But Yekindar will win the first brush. And Nouns don't have the bulk of the presence here, so they're kind of frozen up. They're ready to go. They're ready to rock and roll, but they've got to wait. And the utility is abysmal. Most of it's in mid. Actually, all of it's in mid. They've got nothing. A smoke's been picked up by Junior. I guess that was tossed back, but now he's dropped down. That's the early warning system. They have to do this with the guns, but they're doing a good job of that. Expect Twistzz back on the angle? No, but he won't be able to deny the bomb. And now they're fighting forward. Twistzz giving up audio cues as well, so they're ready for this. Oh, the snap around. Cadian hits a shot. A must kill. Skulls on Jeorge. This is the fight for the round, and Jeorge has won it. Cadian, this is an impossible situation. He's not got the kit again. He has to deal with the combat off, and he's smoked off, and he's dropped down. Jeorge, the lone survivor, but that's all they need. Nouns are on map point, and the money is gone for Liquid.
Wow. I mean, just opening frag went Liquid's way as well with Yekindar finding it. And after that, it was perfect timing from Carson. He was thinking, when do I go in cave? Like, when do I pop out here and try to get something done? And then once CJ activates for one, he immediately swings around the corner, gets the second, and then finds a follow-up as well on that player that was trying to come out from CT. Actually, that was Jeorge to get that, and then Jeorge closing things out. So just beautifully done from Nouns. Great timing, great usage of whatever utility they had left, which wasn't much, like you mentioned, right? They had 3 pieces versus, I think it was 6 or 7 on Liquid's side, but Liquid just held on to it for too long, and it ended up having no impact on the round. Oh my goodness. Look at what they've got to work with into this round. 3 5.7s and 2 MP9s. This could not be a worse situation for Liquid. Jeorge looking again for that quick control, potentially in the mid, but a couple of nades force him back.
Look at this read.
Yeah.
Nouns know that Liquid are going to have to gamble, so they're going straight out in towards A, and they've read it perfectly. Liquid going with the B stack. There's been so much action there recently, and the aggression down in towards elbow. Now, they might be able to catch Jeorge. A little isolated, but, well, as the hit's coming towards A, there is no one in position in time. It's going to be a battle back from the donut with inferior weaponry to do so. This bomb should be planted in a moment. There's very little Liquid can do. It's going to have to get very weird for Liquid if they're going to bring this through. The smokes on site give them at least some sort of ground to cover. Something to gain. But look at this flank developing all the while from Jeorge. Finds one, spots the second, tags him up. A disaster is striking. The kills on site need to happen. Jeorge advancing forward ever closer. But the bodies are dropping, and somehow, Liquid have brought this into a 2-on-2 situation. But they don't have a kit, so they just need to get on it, and the Molotov has won this round. No chance, no hope, no opportunity for Skulls. He has to sit and watch the time whittle off the clock, as he knows this is Ancient slipping out of their grasp. Nouns have done it. They move up 1-0 in this series. They get the 13-10, and Nouns are now just one map away from knocking Liquid down to the lower bracket.
Wow. I mean, Nouns did everything they had to. Excluding the first 5 rounds, they all activated Junior 1.